Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it. Again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we have so much to discuss. The New York Jets have restructured yet another contract. OTAs going on, right? We're hearing great things about Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson. Also quite an update about Breece Hall, and we're going to get into it all. So listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Long Beach Joe. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth, with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. Your boy's also on iTunes as well, for those of you that may not know, all right? Go on over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show, all right? Subscribe to the podcast there, and leave me some feedback on there as well. I want to thank everyone that gives me those 5-star ratings. Salutes, all right? Please give me a 5-star rating if you haven't already, and let me know how you folks feel about the show. Get a lot of positive feedback, a lot of people listening from a lot of places as well. Salutes to everyone that takes the time to listen to the show, especially the people from overseas. A lot of overseas listeners. They're checking in with your boy. So salutes to everybody over there in Ireland, Germany. I got people from Australia, people from all over the place, Africa, everywhere. Middle East as well. Salutes to all of you. UK, all right, I see you. And I respect you, all right? So I want to thank everybody for checking out the show. It always astounds me that people from so far away listen to your boy, and I appreciate y'all, all right, if you didn't know. All right, you can also check the show out as well on YouTube. Hey, for those of you that do not know, I'm not just a great voice. I'm not just great takes. I'm also great looking, all right? That's what people tell me. I'm not arrogant, okay? I have a lot of fun over here. We laugh, we joke, we talk about the team. A lot of people enjoy watching the show live. They stumble into it, and they go, whoa, Joe, we knew that you knew this team, but we didn't know, you look so good. And I say, hey, thank you. I'm not arrogant, all right? So if you want to check the show out and you want to catch everything that we're doing here live, because we do, the show is live, all right? Listen, come on over to YouTube, all right? Type in Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. We have a blast over here. You know what I'm saying? Me going back and forth with the callers, salutes. We also take time to sit down with the Savages as well, all right? Anybody want to know why I call my chat the Savages? It's because they're savage. Salutes all the Savages, man. GVH, I see you. Salutes to him, all right? Everybody checking me out. Listen, nobody is safe, all right? That's why I call my chat the Savages. Nobody's safe, not even me, all right? They don't like your takes. They don't like what you bring to the table. They're going to get at you, all right? That's how it goes. It is what it is. So we have a blast doing that. You can also follow the show as well on Twitter, at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Personal Twitter is at YoungJ000. All right, come on by, follow, go back and forth with me. I have a blast. Now, it's time to get into it, all right? Salutes to all the Savages. Salutes to all the callers. Listen here. There's a lot of things moving and shaking with the New York Jets right now, all right? Jordan Whitehead restructuring, Jets OTAs. We're going to be talking about Breece Hall, but before we get there, okay, everyone knows that I am a huge New York Jets fan, all right, from the New York area. I'm not even from the East Coast, all right? Grew up on the West Coast my whole life, okay? Love it here. The sun's great. The women are beautiful. The weather's always solid, all right? I enjoy myself, okay? A lot of people here at Long Beach Joe, they think Long Beach on the East Coast. Nope, it's Long Beach, California, all right? So with all of that said, in my travels, the way I move around, I've met a lot of Jets fans, a lot, from different spaces, different places, and we all connect through our love for the football team. So tonight, I'm going to have, okay, Willie Williams come on from the Virginia Jets fan club, and he's going to talk to us about his experience as a Jets fan as well in Virginia and everything that they do there to celebrate and come around and enjoy the New York Jets. Willie, I want to welcome you to the show. How are you feeling tonight, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, Joe?
What's going on, man?
all kind of greatness, man. I can't wait for this season. Oh my God, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it is, man. Listen, it's gonna be phenomenal. Okay, and I can't wait. And we're gonna talk about that. But first, I want you to tell my callers what made you become a fan of the New York Jets.
Okay, so all right, I currently live in Virginia, the Hampton Roads area, but I see, like, I know, like, you're from the West Coast, so I'm originally from New York, Long Island, New York, and Amityville, right? So my dad moved us down here, and so actually, this is the crazy part about my Jets journey. I actually started out a Cowboy fan, right? So
whoa,
what happened?
Okay.
I know. Don't tell anybody. So what happened was Keyshawn Johnson back in '95. He was my favorite player in college, right, when he went to USC. And he just so happened to go to the Jets. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to, I'm going to go ahead and ride with this guy. And then I started looking at the history and the fact that we've always been underdogs. So, I kind of rode with that. And I've been riding ever since.
That's quite a story right there. Now, I'll tell you what, you picked a player from USC to follow. I'm just saying, fight on. That was a good smooth move right there, okay? You know what I'm saying? That was a good move right there, so I respect that. All right? Now, about your journey to become a Jets fan, right? Everything you went through first, you're feeling the star, but then you moved over, got that green and white jersey. That's cool. That's what all the cool kids are doing. Now, how did your fan club come about? How did that come about?
Okay. So I actually started with a different group. They're called the Virginia Jet fans. Shout out to those guys. They watch the games in Norfolk, Virginia, off Shore Drive at AJ Gators. So there are a lot of fans that are, we're all over. They're all over the 757 area, and they all can't make it there. So then what I ended up doing was I'm on the peninsula side a lot. So, I kind of decided, what, let me start something on the peninsula. And we've been doing that ever since. And now we're going into our, I think, fifth year. We're going to our 5th year. So my group is called the 757 Jet fans. So like I said, you got Virginia Jet fans, you got 757 Jet fans. So, we get together occasionally, but, like I said, it's hard because everybody is in different places. So, yeah.
So with you doing what you're doing there in the peninsula, how can people come out there and hang out with you, man? Like, where do you guys hang out? Where do you guys meet up? What kind of activities do you folks do when you get together to talk about this football team and celebrate it?
Yes, let's go. Okay, so now actually I've expanded so I went from the peninsula back on this side. So I have actually, Joe, I have 4 locations. So this coming season, we'll have 4 locations that you can go to because I wanted to make sure we covered the whole 757. So you've got Eagles Nest in Chesapeake. You've got Wing King in Virginia Beach on Rosemount Boulevard. You've got Green Turtle in Hampton. And then you've got Hooters off of Mercury Boulevard. So all 4 of those locations will have someone there that will, that will embrace the Jet fans. So now what we do, this is so great. We're an inclusive club. So what we do is we include everybody, because, we've been bad so long. It's just kind of like, but we still love football. So what we do is we include everybody. So you come in, we got a table set up. I've got flags, all that good stuff. We give beads out. We do raffles, right? I would do a 50-50 raffle for cash, and I also do a merchandise raffle. So with those raffles, if I pull your ticket, you get to pick what gear you want, and then we mail it. Yeah. So then if you buy a ticket, you'll get Mardi Gras beads of your team. So let's say like a Cowboy fan, a Ravens fan, whoever, they'll get their team color beads. And everyone loves it because, like I said, and then you even got other fans screaming J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Because, like I said, we're inclusive. It's cool. Yeah.
Listen, Willie is putting in the work, okay? He's putting in the work and having a blast. And look at all the locations that you got going on, man. Wow.
Yep.
Willie putting in work.
I got a website.
Go ahead.
www.
Give them all the information.
I am. All right. So everything is basically on the website. So www.757jetfans.com. And, we also have a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, email, phone number. You can even call if you got any questions. We're the real deal. So, Yep.
Listen, Willie's putting in that work again. We're speaking with Willie Williams of the 757 Virginia Jets fan club. Look, that is wonderful. All these raffles, everything that you're doing, you're having a lot of fun. You're including everyone else. Now, Willie, can you talk to us about what it's like being a Jets fan in your local area? I've been around that 757. I know that there's listen.
Oh my God.
There are Cowboys fans there. I know there's Cowboys fans there. I know that there's Commander fans there, or the Washington team, whatever they call themselves now.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Yes. Those guys.
Yeah, and I know that there's like a host of other teams. But when I was there, repping the green, repping my team, I definitely was heckled, especially by some of these Cowboys fans, always talking about their illustrious history, which was a long time ago. Okay?
Long time ago. Yeah.
And, some of those Washington fans as well got at me. Okay? Now, tell me about your experience there, Willie.
Oh, my God. Okay, so look, every day I'm wearing green. Every day, either it's my lanyard, a hat, custom shoes. I've always got green on. You know what I mean? Because I've got to bring people in. So that way, if I got some green on and somebody sees it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm a Jet fan too, and then that's how I get them. So I get heckled every day, especially at work. They go crazy. I'll give you an example. Draft night, right? So we're at Eagles Nest in Chesapeake on draft night. And so, of course, everyone shows up. We're probably like 40, 50 deep, right? So we're there. We got our table set up, all that stuff. We're not saying anything to anybody, Joe. We're just, just hanging out. So we start taking pictures. Oh, man, the Jets suck. I don't know what y'all here for. Oh, my God. Just like we're supposed to stay mediocre. I don't know.
Yeah. Hating. They hating. Like, I'm not going to say nothing. Nothing. No, I am. I'm lying. I'm going to say a lot, especially on TikTok. Yeah, I'm going to say a lot. Especially on TikTok. And look, I'm going to be there the first game, too. So we play the Bills on that Monday night, September 11th. I'm in the building. Okay.
So, yeah. So I was.
Okay.
So another thing, Joe. So you'll recognize me because of what I'm wearing, okay? So I have a flight suit, right, that an actual Air Force flight suit that I bought patches for, sewed on, and then I custom made a fighter pilot helmet, the color of the Jets helmet now, and it looks like they're yes, like that. It's all on the website. Everything's on the website, and if you want one, just let me know. I can make you one. Yep.
Oh yeah, listen, we're gonna talk.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna talk. Man,
absolutely.
It is crazy. Yep. It is so crazy to hear about you getting heckled and y'all getting bothered so much when you're just minding your own business. That's the same thing that would happen to me. Man, I'm minding my own business. Yeah, got my Jets jersey on, just walking down the street, minding my own business. Across the street, the Jets are trash. That's all I hear. And I'm like, oh, okay. I just pointed at him. I said, okay, I know what time it is. I'll see you next season. That's what I screamed. I'll see you next season. Okay.
It just depends on who it is. Like Bill fans, I get heckled by them, right? So this is what you tell a Bills fan. Oh, you guys suck. Da, 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 da. So I said this to a Bills fan today. Matter of fact, I said, look, how many times did the Bills win the Super Bowl? 4. Okay. How many times has the Jets been? Once. Okay. Who do you think has more Super Bowl wins? And blows their mind. Blows their mind. So we have one more than they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
because it depends on. It depends on who thinks my rebuttals are crazy. So, yep.
That's you got to be quick-witted when you're a fan of this football team, man. Well, listen,
absolutely,
we're talking about this team now, and listen, I love talking to you about what you're doing, 757, how you guys are putting on, but I want to talk to you more about this team right now, man. I want to get into it. You said you're going to be there for the season. You're going to be there. September 11th, you're going to be there first game when they're playing the Bills. Listen. Mm-hmm. Give me your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers joining the Jets. Has that really increased your confidence here with the Jets? Has that just made your excitement? Has it raised your level of excitement for this football team going into this upcoming season?
Absolutely, but but not for the reasons you think. Because here's my thing: Aaron Rodgers is a guy that we know what he brings to the table. Now, remember, all those years in Green Bay, he played us, he kept beating us. So, I'm still mad at him about that. So I got to get over that, right? But the good thing is, he brings experience to the position that we've always needed. And we have the weapons this time. So he'll know how to facilitate the players and I think we'll be fine. Plus, he's going to make Zach Wilson better. Because remember, Zach Wilson said he was going to give the next guy hell. Well, he's going to give you hell, guy. So, you know what I mean? So I think Aaron Rodgers, what I'm reading, it's he's got this zen about him that he brings to the field every day. And all the players are gravitating towards him. And I think that's cool, So I think we're going to do some things, man. Oh, my God. Can't wait.
Yeah, it's crazy that you bring up Zach Wilson. I keep telling people, okay, and everyone knows, I like Zach Wilson. I think he has the physical ability to do what it takes to make it in this league. But I think the mental stuff, it's just not there yet, okay? Not saying it never will be. I'm just saying it's not there yet.
Right.
And with Aaron Rodgers coming in, everybody was ready to just cast him off. I do weekly shows, so I have people calling in saying they don't even want to trade him. They just want to cut him, get him out of here. I don't ever want to see him in a Jets jersey again. I think that this is the best situation for Zach Wilson that he could possibly think of getting. Literally his childhood hero, the quarterback he wants to emulate the most, right?
Yep.
He now gets to sit under him in an offense that quarterback and the current offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, literally built together. Yep. He gets to sit behind him and learn the ins and outs of the offense from the man that he idolizes the most, the guy that he wants to be most like in this league. And he gets to sit back and get that tutelage, get accustomed to everything that it takes to become a pro, outside of just learning the playbook, but what it takes to truly become a pro. He can learn from this guy that has been everywhere that he wants to be, everywhere, from Super Bowls to MVP to best quarterback in the league to one of the top quarterbacks in the league for years, however long he's been in the league. He's been one of the top guys. He can sit back and just absolutely soak all of that in to then turn around and make himself better. I mean, what are your thoughts? When I talk about that, what are your thoughts about that, Willie? Because a lot of people don't look at it from that aspect, and I constantly have to bring that up from Jets fans. How do you feel about that?
I feel the same way. That's what I was just saying. Because he's there, he is his idol. He can sit and could you imagine whoever you idolize and they come to your job and they show you how to make your job better. Like I said, we're good. I feel a dynasty brewing, dude. I feel a dynasty brewing. And with Zach Wilson at that. So once Aaron's gone, I can see Aaron after this year, maybe one, maybe two more, but then that's when Zach comes in and he's like, and we're, oh my, great. And then everyone else is going to want to come and flock to us. And then we'll be back, and New York will be back on. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
listen, I'm telling you.
Great.
2, maybe 3 years, possibly, but at least 2 years, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be here. And then we'll see what happens going forward. Maybe Zach gets his chance again, in which I think they'll do. Again, the coaching staff has said, hell or high water, they're going to, see what he's got. So maybe 2 more years. We'll see what happens going forward with him. But I'm telling you, he's got it. He's got the physical ability. It's just the upstairs stuff. But now he really gets a chance to rejuvenate himself, to rejuvenate his career, to turn things around with one of the greatest, ever, standing in front of him. And literally Aaron Rodgers already talked about, listen, I'm going to teach this guy. He talked about Zach Wilson saying, like you said as well, he's going to make guys' life hell on the field. He said, I'm going to make your life heaven off the field. He's going to help him to learn the game the way he should. So, that's big, Willie. Listen.
I would like to see
Go ahead.
I would like to see. So you see how, like, Aaron's hanging out in New York and all these different places, which I think is awesome also as well. I would love to see him and Zach hanging out. Like,
well, maybe they do. I'm thinking that they do. I think that, again, we've heard a lot of they have a great rapport. They even before he was on the team, before Aaron was on the team, when we did joint practices, you could see them talking on the field and hanging out. I think, look, the thing about media as well, too, you got to keep in mind is New York. If Zach Wilson is just hanging out, I could see the New York media painting that in a negative light. The guy struggled on the field. The guy, trying to put things together. And now we see him hanging out at parties, blah, blah, blah. We've seen them do that to other people. So that could be a factor where Zach is head down in the books, doing what he's got to do. If he is going out, he's staying very low key. He's just going out there just trying to do his thing week in and week out. Look, he's done pretty darn good in OTAs as well. He's had some good days, and there's still people trying to dump on him. So I'm pretty sure they do hang out. I'm sure they talk a lot. But for me, I think Zach is very much about focusing, getting things together, trying to learn and figure out why the success isn't here yet. Because, again, he has the arm strength, incredible. You see it. Look at the wrist, throw the ball 70, 80 yards down the field, no problem. Like, he can do that. 50, 60-yard bombs, no issues. But it's the mental stuff. When the defense starts to play those tricks, he just can't keep up, man. So, I think they have a great rapport. Yeah, they're good. They're good. But I want to know something else, Willie. I want to know what your favorite free agent signing was from this current offseason, man, because we brought in some guys. What are your thoughts, man? Who you like? Alan Lazard, Cobb? Like, who was the guy that we signed and you were like, okay, I'm ready to go?
And people in my group will tell you, actually, is Aaron Rodgers. Like, I didn't think he was coming. So, you know what I mean? So, like, I just kept, and actually, I'm not going to lie, I kept saying over and over, I was like, he's not coming. They're like, he's coming. I'm like, no, he's not. He's taking too long. So, Aaron Rodgers being a Jet for me, because, like I said, it just brings a whole nother level of just, like, confidence. I mean, they got us as Super Bowl contenders just because he's there. Like, you know what I mean? That's insane to me. Like, when was the last time we even heard something like that? Maybe 2009, 10. Yeah. So it's Aaron Rodgers for me. And then my honorable mention is, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm praying it's happening when Q finally signs.
Oh, you want to? Oh, yeah. Getting Quentin Williams re-signed is extremely important.
Yeah. Guys get that guy. Yep. That's the guy to get that.
What do you make of that? Why do you think it's taken so long, man?
I'm noticing that with JD ever since he's gotten there. I don't know. He just likes to drag it out. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Like, I have no idea. Like, he just likes the suspense and the drama of it all. Like, we know Q's going to sign. It's just whenever that, but guys are restructuring. So maybe that's what they're doing, the money right, so that on the books, so that, when they re-sign him, we're good. So maybe that's what. I don't know.
Okay. No, listen, I hear you. Look, I know there's a lot of things. Again, Quentin hasn't been at any of the voluntary stuff. He told us he wouldn't do that if the deal wasn't reached, right? And he has yet to do that. But there's been some things, some tweets that he's put out as well that were just kind of trying to nudge the Jets to get things done. But I'll tell you what, man, and he's also removed the Jets from his social media at one point. I don't know if they're back on his social media, but he definitely removed them. Look, I think JD's going to get the job done eventually. Like you said as well, there's been some restructures. I'm going to be covering a current restructure or a recent restructure that we had as well. And we have quite a bit of money. I think we have over $24 million now in cap. So we'll see what happens going forward. But I think JD's going to get it done eventually. Quentin Williams is a guy that clearly the Jets covet, and he's a guy that is going to be one of the cornerstones of this football team for years to come. So we'll see what happens going forward with that situation. Now, We talked about some guys who need to be re-signed, some guys that are here, man. What were your thoughts about the recent draft, okay? Because let me tell you something. I did a live draft show. For the first round, and people were not feeling Will McDonald. Okay? They were not feeling Will McDonald in the first round, all right? I went across social media. I had people in my ear immediately saying, Joe, what in the world are the Jets doing? What's going on? Give me your thoughts about the recent Jets draft, and what was your favorite pick?
All right, so I can tell you my favorites, and so when I saw that, like I said, we're Eagles Nest. They called it, and we're all looking at each other like, who, what, why, where, when, how. So I looked at his highlight films. Now I see why we picked this guy. To me, I feel like he is an insurance policy in case Q doesn't sign, one, and his athleticism is off the charts. This guy jumps over cars. Did you see that? He jumps over cars for fun. For fun. Yeah. And I don't mean cars. I mean like SUVs. Yeah, just runs and just jumps completely over it. I'm like, okay. It's Joe Douglas. Yes. So Will McDowell is a 2 thumbs up for me personally. Let's see. Yeah. So Tippin, Wisconsin. I like his size. Carter Warren. He is from Pittsburgh. He is he's a nice size also. I'm just mad we didn't get the guy from Georgia. That damn Belichick. That guy, man. Fair.
Listen,
a
lot of people talking about Broderick. That's who we thought he was going to take.
That's what I thought too, man. All right, so the guys from Pittsburgh. Okay, the running back. All right, so
Is he?
So is Michael Carter on his way out? I mean, like, I don't know. Why do we have this guy? I don't know.
Well, I don't think Carter's on his way out. I think that Izzy is a great addition to the backfield, right? Everybody's talking about Breece Hall already, that he possibly is going to be ready for week 1. We'll be talking about that tonight as well with the callers. Salute to all the callers. We'll get to y'all in a second. But his addition to the backfield, I think, is going to be great. He's a guy that can move. I'm talking about he's got some speed to him. He's a one-cut guy. He could go. He can catch coming out the backfield. Of course, he's going to have to work on some things, just like every rookie does. But he's really good. Like, I really like the selection. But it doesn't mean that Carter's out of the door at all. I think Michael Carter has a lot to offer. And I think this upcoming season in this new offense, I think if Nathaniel Hackett utilizes him like we all will, how I believe that he will utilize him, Michael Carter coming out the backfield on passing downs is going to be a nightmare.
That's what I was thinking too.
He's going to be a nightmare. He's going to be a nightmare. When you look at how Aaron Rodgers were able to work with like Aaron Jones and those guys when they were in Green Bay, Aaron Jones was catching the football, and he was ghost. And Michael Carter can do the same. We saw him with Mike White. There was a game against the Bengals. We won that game simply because of Michael Carter and his ability to catch the football and get going. He was finding him in checkdowns, all that stuff, getting the ball out of his hands quick. So I think that Michael Carter is one of the guys, and again, I'm a big Michael Carter fan. I've been bashed because of it. He did not have a great year this past year, but I think he rebounds this upcoming year in this offense with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football, and I think that Izzy is definitely going to get worked into that rotation because this is a system, that has been known to utilize rotation within the running back situation. You also got to remember Breece Hall, even if he's back, he's still coming off an ACL injury, so that you don't want to run that guy into the ground. You know what I'm saying? Again, he's coming back. Everybody's saying he does look good, but you don't want to run him too much coming fresh off that injury. But go ahead and give me your thoughts on that, Willie.
Yeah. Oh, on which one? On Breece or?
Just the running back situation and the rest of the draft.
All of them. I mean, like I've always loved running back by committee because like you're not putting too much on one guy. Like, you know what I mean? And everybody gets their reps. And then it also confuses the defense too, especially like you said, if you're throwing out the backfield, with the flats and all that good stuff. So you don't know. It confuses defense. So. I think we will be fine. Zaire Barnes, that's the only one that I have not researched. I'll probably do that today. I don't know anything about that guy.
Okay.
Derek Bernard Converse. He was awesome at LSU.
Yeah.
So that's a pick. Now this one's a little close to home. Zach Kuntz. Okay. So remember, I'm from Virginia. I am a avid Old Dominion Monarch football goer.
Yeah.
So I've seen this guy every Saturday. I mean, he is like a monster, 6'8", like 230. Like, oh my God, man. They got to utilize that guy. He touches everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Listen, I like him being brought in as well. And again, we have a lot of tight ends, but he's a guy I think if the Jets could, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they try to stash him on the practice squad. If they can, boy, oh boy, he's going to be something else. Because you can teach everything, but you can't teach size, right? You can't teach 6'7". You can't do it. Can't do it.
Nope.
No matter what you do, you can't teach a guy how to become, his measurables. You can't do it. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I like that pick.
Absolutely.
So, listen, Willie, we've had discussion. We've talked. I've really enjoyed speaking with you coming onto the show. Before I let you go, give my audience, again, every way that they can contact you, the 757 Club, every way that they can get involved with y'all, where you guys meet again, just everything, your website. Give it all to them again, all your social media and all of that. So if they're in the area, they can, get down with what you're doing.
Yes. Especially if you're in the area, like visiting, for the weekend, please come check us out. So like I said, we have 4 locations, which is awesome. So, the best thing to do is just go on the www.757, the numbers, Jets with an S, fans with an S.com. Everything's pretty much up there. But for whatever reason, if this website is not working, just go to the Facebook page, 757 Jet Fans. And then go from there. Send us, and I'm willing. You can send me a message or, whatever. Like I said, we're trying to have all kinds of fun. We're going to games. We're watching games at the bars. Like I said, we got great giveaways. I gave away an Aaron Rodgers jersey on draft night. So the first month, I'm going to give away an Aaron Rodgers jersey every Sunday. It's that simple. Whatever color we're wearing that week, that's the jersey you get. October, it'll be Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you get that kind of gear. November is military gear. Christmas, you get an ugly sweater or a scarf, and then we'll do whatever on in January. So yes, we have the best prizes, hands down. Nobody's seeing. They can't even copy us. Like they can't because they don't have my soul. So all of that.
Listen, Willie, I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. It has been phenomenal speaking with you. You have yourself a good one, my friend.
All right. You too, and I can't wait to talk to you again.
Absolutely. You have a good one. Listen, that was Willie Williams of the 757 Virginia Fan Club, Jets Fan Club. They're doing phenomenal things, man. Get involved with them any way that you can. And I love having Willie on. He always brings the heat, man. Jets fan through and through. So now we're going to continue on, and we got quite a bit to talk about. Callers, hold on just a second. Steve, Rusty, other callers as well. New caller, I see you. Hold on. We're going to get to everybody, okay? We're going to get to everybody. Salutes to everybody in the chat as well, as Savages. All right? I see you. Dark Soldier, I see you. Jigga Man, E-Man, and I see y'all. All right? Now, the Jets have been making moves, okay? As we spoke about a little bit earlier, Jordan Whitehead has restructured his contract, okay? He's converted non-guaranteed base salary into a signing bonus, dropping his cap charge from $10.2 million to $4.9 million, all right? They also added 4 void years, okay, which means that a $3.3 million hit next year, is going to happen when the deal voids. So it's going to add that. So that literally brings the New York Jets to a cap situation that is very good, okay? They now have over $24 million in cap space. Now, this opens the door, okay? Everyone knows, I get a little money in my hand, and I like to spend. I like to spend, I'm not going to lie, I like to spend. especially when we're talking about some guys that could still be out there. Why not spend a little bit? A guy like, I don't know, DeAndre Hopkins, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the Jets are going to do it. I'm just saying that there's been a lot of talk about DeAndre Hopkins, looking for a new team. And some of the things that he wants, which is a quality defense, the Jets got it. A quarterback that could get him the football, the Jets got it. A team that could be in the hunt to really make a splash in this league and possibly win it all. The Jets could do that, So maybe DeAndre Hopkins could be the apple of someone's eye, that is sitting in a position to make decisions for the New York Jets. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying that if I was a general manager, right, let's say if I was the Jets general manager, okay, DeAndre Hopkins would definitely be a guy I'd be interested in, okay? But we'll see what happens. Again, the Jets have over $24 million in cap. There's a lot of things that we need to have, done here. Again, Quinnen Williams still not, still doesn't have a contract extension in place, all right? So we'll see what happens going forward with that. I think that this money could also play into that too. And there's also Aaron Rodgers is still, there's a lot of talk about his deal being reworked and him possibly giving the New York Jets money back. So he might give some money back, and according to a lot of the rumors that are swirling about his contract as well, it's going to really help the New York Jets cap-wise and put them in a situation to continue to build around him. So we're going to see what happens going forward with that too. But this, again, Jordan Whitehead has restructured his contract. Good move by the Jets. Again, I like Jordan Whitehead a lot. I know there's a lot of Jets fans that wanted to get rid of him for whatever reason, but I like this move. Now, OTA is also happening as well. We'll get to the callers in a second. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. All right, we're going to get to everybody. Robert Saleh sat down with Jets media, okay, in OTAs, and had a little press conference. He spoke about Aaron Rodgers, taking things slow. Again, Aaron Rodgers has been dealing with a calf injury. According to everybody, it's nothing too super serious, all right? They're just taking it slow. Again, he's a guy, older guy, but the calf injury, has kind of put things in a situation where, hey, he's just taking it easy. But at the same time, he's not, not there on the practice field. He's definitely there, and he's coaching guys, and he's helping guys, and he's putting things together. And he's looking around, at situations. And when things aren't going well, believe me, Aaron Rodgers is going to let you know. All right. And C.J. Uzomah has talked about it. Very mild-mannered guy. But he let them know, hey, look, we got to step it up in these areas. When things aren't going right on the field, he lets it be known, hey, stop. He lets you know what you need to be doing, where you need to be going, what you should be seeing. And then, they continue on and they run it again. And especially in the film room as well, there's been talks of him playing a big role in the film room, breaking things down and helping guys to understand this offense. Again, we're running a lot of the same similar concepts with Nathaniel Hackett that we ran with Mike LaFleur, but there's different verbiage. There's a lot of different ticks to things. So guys need to be a certain place. Again, it is very tough to implement an offense and have, solid major success in your first year. Generally, it takes you a bit of time to really get things rolling. But sitting here and doing things this way, especially, again, Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers have that connection. They literally put the offense together with each other, helping guys to understand it quicker, especially when you have a player like Aaron Rodgers and other guys as well here on the field or here with the New York Jets that understand the system is really going to help players get up to speed, okay? So he's doing that. And he also talked about Aaron's ability pre-snap to recognize things and how much that's going to change the offense as well. And he talked about how, Saleh spoke about how, sometimes in the past what they would do was they would just call something, go out there and run it. If it doesn't work, well, then just make something happen. And I think that he was kind of leading back to when Zach was running the offense. And we heard this. This was something that leaked out, about last season, was that Mike LaFleur would make a call, and if there wasn't something there, they would just say, hey, Zach, just run. Just find somewhere to run and just run, right? Because Zach wasn't quick mentally. He was quick with his arm. He could launch the football down the field for sure. All right, we saw that. But the mental part of the game, he wasn't recognizing things. Well, Aaron Rodgers is completely different. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. First ballot, easy. He's going to come out there, look, diagnose what's going on, and either run the play that was called or go, the play that was called, not really going to get the most out of it against this type of defense, against this set. All right, let me change this up. I'm going to audible. I'm going to change my protections. I'm going to reroute some wide receivers, and then I'm going to throw a 50-yard bomb for a touchdown because I know it's going to be there, because I know what kind of defense you're running. That type of understanding, the ability to recognize what a defense is doing pre-snap, changes things, okay? It makes things a lot different. It does a world of difference, because what that allows you to do is diagnose things and dial up what you need to do, right? That's why guys like Peyton Manning were so successful in this league. Peyton Manning literally knew what you were doing. He knew what you ate for breakfast. He knew what you did last summer. He knew everything. And that's why he was able to literally just destroy defenses the way that he did. Same thing with other guys. Tom Brady, we hated him for years. Tom Brady was very quick mentally. All the great quarterbacks understand how to divvy things up and diagnose pre-snap and adjust and destroy you. All right. So Sulla talked about that, that ability, and that being, a big part of why the offense, going forward is going to be successful under Aaron Rodgers. They also asked him about DeAndre Hopkins. Everyone knows, DeAndre Hopkins is a guy that I like, and he kind of shied away from the question. They asked him about the Jets possibly adding Hopkins, and he just said, hey, they love their current wide receiver room. Okay? Very smart. Don't want to get involved. Don't want to get nothing crazy thrown out there. He knows how the media works. We'll see, though. Again, there's no guarantees the New York Jets go after Hopkins again. There's been a lot of things swirling about certain teams that he wants to go to, teams that he doesn't want to go to. But, that was a good move by Sulla. Also, there was an update about Breece Hall as well. He looked really good rehabbing from the ACL tear. There was film of him, video of him, making some cuts, doing some drills and things, and he looked really good. Sulla did say, hey, that they're cautioning, bringing him back too early. Let's not do too much too early. Again, he's still healing up. He's a young guy. But, man, they said he's already hitting 22 miles per hour on the GPS, so he's already moving, right? So it's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of rumors swirling, talking about him possibly being ready for week 1 with the New York Jets this upcoming season. So we'll see what happens going forward with Breece Hall, but let me tell you, that's a really good update. That guy's phenomenal, man. That guy's a phenomenal running back. You also talked about Dwayne Brown as well. Listen, Dwayne Brown is always getting love from the coaching staff, particularly Sulla. Talked about Dwayne Brown playing through the torn rotator cuffs, and he also threw a comment out there. I don't know if he was trying to dump on Mekhi Becton. A lot of Jets fans, and all due respect to all Jets fans, I love every Jets fan. There's a lot of Jets fans out there that took this comment, what he said about Dwayne Brown. Sulla said, Dwayne Brown doesn't believe he's entitled to anything. He has to earn everything. That's his mentality. And a lot of Jets fans immediately said, that was a dig at Mekhi Becton. I don't know. I don't think it was a dig at Mekhi Becton. I don't personally think that. Okay? What I think is that he was just explaining how Dwayne Brown thinks about football. Okay? That's all. All right? But we'll be talking about that tonight. I just think, but again, Dwayne Brown is constantly being talked about as a guy that is definitely going to be competing for that left tackle spot. He's going to be in the fight. And he's a guy, again, that the coaching staff loves, man. They love him. Sulla loves him, has talked about him a lot. They also spoke about Garrett Wilson as well, having phenomenal OTAs, the same stuff we heard last season before he went off during the season and just let people know what time it was, because that boy is the business, offensive rookie of the year, all right? Called him a juicy route runner. Now, I love Sulla, okay? The juicy route runner, I don't know. I would just say, he gets it done out there, all right? But that, Sulla called him a juicy route runner. I don't know what that means, though. He also talked about Mims as well. Everyone knows I love Denzel Mims, okay? I think he has ability, just hasn't shown it yet, right? You talked about Mims having a chance to compete and make the roster, talked about his size, talked about his length, and talked about his speed. Denzel Mims is a very interesting, player here with the New York Jets. Big question marks surrounding him. Can this guy get it together? Again, Denzel Mims is another guy that has all the physical ability in the world, all right? That first year with Gaze here, Adam Gaze, oh, my goodness. I don't ever want to talk about that guy again. Whoa, he was so rad. Oh, my God. Adam Gaze. Adam Gase, he's flushed. Oh, he's flushed.
Oh,
He stinks.
brother, this guy stinks!
And flushed. Oh. Oh, my goodness, man. The myriad of emotions when I have to think about Adam Gase. But that first year under Gase, Mims really looked good, man, right? But ever since then, going through the situation with Michael LaFleur, things just haven't worked, right? It hasn't been able to get on the field and get it done. Maybe Nathaniel Hackett is the right offensive coordinator to unlock the potential that Denzel Mims possesses, okay? Maybe he is. We'll see. We'll be talking about that. There's a lot of Jets fans that don't even think he's going to make the roster, okay? We'll see what happens going forward. But Sulla spoke about him as well, pretty positively, says, hey, he has a chance to make it, and talked about, everything that he brings physically to the field. So we'll see what happens going forward with Denzel Mims. But I'll tell you what, if Denzel Mims puts it together this year, boy, oh boy, the Jets become uncoverable. Uncoverable. Mecole Hardman, Lazard, Garrett Wilson. Then you got Denzel Mims going off. Boy, you have a good day. All right? You'll have a good day. We'll be putting defenses on roller skates. All right? So we're going to get to the lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Okay, salutes to all the savages in the chat. If you guys got questions, ask them. I will be coming back to you as well. We do take, questions from the chat. Keep in mind, I am one man. Okay, I'm one man. All right, there's one of me. There's like a million of y'all. Okay, so I will come to y'all. But we got to get to these callers on this line as well because there's a lot of people going back and forth. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Hit that thumbs up button. Share the stream across your social media with your friends and your family, and get involved with your boy any way that you can. If you like to give to the platform, the super chat's there. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give is greatly appreciated. All right. Now we get into these lines again. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. First caller I got to get to my guy, Rusty. Steve, 732 will come to you in just a second. We're going to Rusty, man. All right. And we need to talk to Rusty. Rusty salutes. Before we get going with Rusty, though, we got to let everybody know. Rusty, he's a savage.
Yes, salute them.
Man, Rusty. Salutes. Good to talk to you. Listen, Jordan Whitehead restructures his contract. We get some money back, $24 million on the cap, man. What are your thoughts about this move by Joe Douglas and the Jets? Do you like it?
Hashtag McDonald's loving it. Can you hear me good? Am I clear? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you're good. I can hear you. You're clear.
All right, good. I won't move, and I'm going to, I'm just going to stand in place. It's good. I don't want to walk out of reception, but heck yeah, I love that. And, about Whitehead, it's not the same old Jets just in that thing. Like, dudes are taking cuts. Like, he's restructuring. Mosley restructures, like, a lot of key components at key spots. Everybody's restructuring. And I think, too, it's because, Q better be signed. He is. I'm just going to put it I'll lose my mind, man. If he does, I'll literally lose it off of that. Which is funny, a couple of years ago, I was calling him Baby Qe, but he hatched, He jumped out of that egg. Yeah. It worked.
Yeah.
Me and you, Joe, were breaking his chops. We were still waiting for it as much as, he was good, that top 6-5 pick. He wasn't contributing, but good God almighty, as soon as those braces got released, so did the beast. And when thing happened in Cleveland, when, a lot of people like to give us grief and griff, heard it from a lot of Packer fans, and then the other ones who now were the darlings of the NFL that people don't understand how it was. They want to call Q out for yelling at not quarterbacks, but like coaches and things, to where they don't realize that dude isn't like that, and he literally stepped up in something, said it was something. Who knows what he was yelling about? He could have said, this is that, it's a You've played football. I played football. I've got into it when coaches were just going back and forth to where it might look like we're going to come to blows, but we're talk yelling, you know? That's it. And,
no, listen.
Well, to get back to Whitehead, I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. My bad.
No, yeah, listen. I understand. You know, you're passionate. You love this team. But, you know, look, I'm hoping that we get Quentin Williams, you know, get this extension done. Again, we now have over $24 million in cap space, which is a good capital, a good amount, right? But
nice chunk.
Part of me also starts to wonder if this is setting up a situation for the New York Jets to possibly acquire a big-name player, okay? And I know that Sulla kind of shied away from the question and just said, hey, you know, when asked about DeAndre Hopkins, say, hey, you know, I love our wide receiver room. They also said, hey, you know, you also spoke with Odell Beckham. Said, yeah, you know, we did, but we love our current wide receiver room. I want to get your thoughts on this, Rusty. What are your thoughts about the New York Jets taking this $24 million, right, and not spending it all to grab DeAndre, but using a portion of it to get Hopkins in the building and make him a New York Jet? What are your thoughts about that? Is that something you'd want to see?
You played Monopoly before, right? Just asking. Not being a jerk. Just ask.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Do not pass go and do not collect $500. No, not for me. But what I would do is on the Tennessee side, on the flip side, on the safety, I'd go for Bird. But you got to keep Q. I'm just saying, imagine if we had Bird. Dude. And Tennessee just let him go. We have, I don't know, it's a long shot, but we have the Tennessee's offensive lineman. The guy knows how I don't know, if you're hungry and you want to feast, I would love for that kid to come here. And but, you know, on the Hopkins thing, no, that's a hard pass on me. I'm good. Do I want him to go to Buffalo? No way. I'd want him to go to the NFC or go back to Houston. But as far as I think it would be too many chefs in the kitchen, honestly, fam. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have Hopkins, you know, that's what I'm seeing it if we do. And then the price, like, I think we were interested in OBJ, yes, of course. But at the Ravens price, I don't think so. But I could be wrong. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I hear you. You know, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I understand the financial impact that could come with getting Hopkins. But I'll tell you what, right? Like you just said, and I was going to bring up, we did go after OBJ. And, of course, we didn't want to pay him as much as the Ravens gave him, which was, you know, quite a bit, right? But Hopkins right now is a guy that's looking around the league, and the teams didn't want to trade for him, so Cardinals ended up cutting him. Right? Then you look around, he's still, to this point, I don't believe he's signed to this point, right? Again, maybe we're doing this live. He could sign right this second. I don't know. But to my knowledge, right, he hasn't signed anywhere yet. Maybe he's a guy that would come in for close to what we were offering OBJ before he ditched and decided to go to the Ravens, right, before he ditched us out. So maybe that's something that could work for the New York Jets, especially when you look at the situation. Corey Davis still here, right? If you move on from him, that gives you even more cap. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. You know, I'm no fan of Corey, fam. No, I'm with you on that. Like, the only thing that I think that would hold that back, like, yeah, let Corey go. That's for you. 5, right? Something around there. But it stinks to say the flip side of it, and you know it's like, I can't stand Corey, but the one thing the guy can do is he could block. And the one thing that Hops doesn't do is block. And part of our system is huge in blocking. So, like, say we do get Hop, right? So now you'd have to get rid of Corey Davis. You can't keep Corey. You can't, because that's a $10 million hole. So then, but now he's not blocking. So, like, on third and shorts, people are going to know that we're going to run, not, you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Yeah, but
you can't deny Hop, but.
You can't deny.
Go ahead,
this
bud,
is
I'm
the thing.
sorry.
And again, DeAndre Hopkins is not the same guy he was when he was 23, right? But he's still damn good.
1,000.
Right? He's still a very
his
solid
hands
wide
are no
receiver in
joke.
this league. And I understand the talk. And again, I'm just being devil's advocate here. I understand the talk about him, not being the greatest block in the world. But my God, is he a receiving threat? Yes. Aaron Rodgers throwing DeAndre Hopkins sounds like a touchdown every single time. And in a league that is driven by offense, you got to put up points. You got to. We've been starved here offensively for years. So I look at it like, hey, if you can grab him for a price that, would come close to what you were offering OBJ, there's a reason why they were looking at OBJ, right? There's a reason why the Jets made an offer to him. Okay?
I'm just saying.
Here. And again, look,
I'm just
Garrett
saying.
Wilson, phenomenal. But think about how much more deadly Garrett Wilson becomes when you add DeAndre Hopkins.
1,000%. Yeah, I'm with you. But the only thing that I'm saying is that Corey ain't going to be here. I'm cool with that, but we're going to lack the blocking on the third and we're going to lose that cloak, if you will. It's like, are they going to run or are they going to pass? If you see Hop there, screw it. And we have the tight ends too. I would like it, but dude, I'm a Mims dude too, because I think he's going to emerge. But get rid of Corey. If we could do that, and of course I would take Hop. Because the dude's excellent route running and he does not drop passes. Doesn't do it. He's got banana finger things like when I saw Busta Rhymes and I gave him a high five when I was a kid. I was like, what the hell? It was immense. And that's how he has it. He has the same thing. It's true, dude.
Yeah.
They're humongous. He just snatches the ball. And and that's, I don't know. I would rather, but I'm just saying to everybody, Hop doesn't block. So we'd have to have, but to have him instead of Corey, But then is that going to mess with Wilson also? Because, as you said, he's not, the Hopkins of, 23 and such. So would he be our third? Would that, what would you view? What do you think he would be in if that would, what position wide receiver?
You could make whatever happen. You could move Garrett Wilson around, right? You could have Lazard outside with Hopkins outside, move Garrett Wilson around. That'd be a matchup nightmare. There'd be nobody. People can't cover Garrett Wilson on the outside.
But I just mean wide receiver, just as every type of play type of dude. Type of thing.
Yeah,
that's
just
all I meant.
Whatever. Anything within the set, guys would be moving around. It'd be uncoverable. You can't stop that. And I'm telling you, it would make Garrett Wilson, and he's already great. Garrett Wilson is a great player already. He's already a great wide receiver. Offensive Rookie of the Year, shattered offensive records here with the Jets as far as a single season rookie record. He put that to bed, and I think Keyshawn Johnson had that. Well, you add DeAndre Hopkins.
That is true until you see my other boy from
everything on fire. Big explosion. You're
Marvin Harrison Jr., who I hope we get.
I'm telling you. And then you got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball. You got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to him. So it's going to get there. It's going to be accurate because he's going to get the ball to those guys. I'm just saying, man. Salutes. Listen to all the stats.
No, I'm with you.
On in a second.
Salutes.
But I'm telling you, it's going off. But before I let you go, Rusty, give me your thoughts, man, about all the positivity that we're hearing about Breece Hall, man. There's a lot of talk about him recovering from the ACL. They're not trying to rush him back, but, man, he's making cuts out there. How are you feeling about everyone talking about him possibly being on the field week 1 for the New York Jets? What are your thoughts on it, man?
I love and hate it at the same time. I'm loving that he's hitting 22. Keep that. Do that. But I don't want him back until after our bye. You know what I mean? That's a
wow.
I'm no athlete. Well, just to let it, let it simmer, let it burn a little bit, and let the season take on him a little bit before he actually starts. that's a freaking. Yeah, I almost slipped.
Yeah,
that's a
careful,
huge freaking injury. That's some AP injury type of things. And the Vikings, they didn't go to the Super Bowl when they brought AP back that first week. So we have Abracadabra, who we just got, I know who he is, but I just call it Abracadabra. He's like the magic man. Now you see me, now you don't. So, so I'm going to keep it. And then, you have Bam. And, oh, my goodness, I'm so happy we got rid of Ty. I forgot about our third. Who's our third running back? Besides, Brees is our first, but.
Again, you got Brees, Michael Carter, Bam Knight.
Yeah. My God.
We got guys.
Yeah. I am so sorry that I forgot Michael Carter. Dude, that's how crazy our running back game is, though. That's insane. That's incredible. So let those guys feast, because you have that. We know what Bam is. He can bust through. We're going to see what Abracadabra can do. We know that, Carter catch out of the backfield and slippery as heck, and, he might not get it, but he could bang and he'll survive. So my thing is, don't bring the Beast Brees back until week 6. Just keep it easy, smoke them. Keep it like a good offset smoker. Like you do at ribs, just low and slow, and just let it smoke, and they'll come out good.
Okay,
it's good.
Listen, I hear you. I don't want them again. And Sulla talked about it during OTAs. They're being very careful, right? They're not trying to bring him back too early. Don't want to rush him through this situation. But let me tell you something. If he's ready week 1, if he truly is ready, and that knee is good, I'm putting him out there. I'm gonna put him out there.
Yeah. But then look at our 4-headed monster. It's incredible, Joe. Mm-hmm. That's nutty, brother. And oh my God, fam, that's crazy what we have.
It is, and and that's the beautiful thing about it too, is that again, you can give him touches, but you don't have to run him into the ground. Now later on in the season, once he feels stronger again, and I'm pretty sure he feels good now, but once the season really gets going and he really gets that wind rolling and he feels a bit stronger as the season going on, that's when you can really load him up with carries. Before that, you can give him the ball. He can go early, but then we can work in Michael Carter. We can work in Izzy, Bam as well, depending on how many they keep active. And then later on in the season is where you really bring the grind on with Breece Hall, and you really start to load him up a bit more carries when he's feeling himself and getting back, into his mode. So,
heck yeah. No, I feel you on that, but the reason why...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Wait, what?
No, go ahead. Oh,
no.
Go ahead.
No, but the reason why I was saying week 6 was just because, like you were saying, because we get so comfortable with how he is. Dude, he's like a Rolls-Royce engine in, I don't know, like a spaceship type of thing. The dude is freaking crazy. So we can't just get used to that. You know what I mean? Because we will. Because why wouldn't you? As we're playing, it's feed Brees. And now all of a sudden that's a lot still on there. So I just say, keep him on practice till week 6. Let the other dudes run the cycle. Let it happen. And, we're in good hands with Rodgers. We're in great hands with our defense. And, just let the dominoes fall where they lay, and then let the chips happen. And then all of a sudden, imagine the rest of it. All right, so we get through the gauntlet, we go 4-2 within the first 6 weeks or better, 5-1 or even, 3-3, whatever. People now we get Brees back. Imagine that lift. You know what I mean? Instead of starting him from the first. That's what I'm saying. And then, 2, let him get his feet under him, that type of deal.
No,
I feel you and respect your decision 1,000%. I'm just saying.
No, listen, I hear you. Listen, Rusty, I got to slide off. We got other callers. Tim is on the line. We're going to come to him second. Steve is on there. There's a lot of callers, man. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
Thank you, too, fam. Love you. Let's go, Jets. Salute to you and fellow Savages. Let's go, Jets.
That's what I'm talking about. we're going to keep rolling with these callers. Again, Tim will come to you next. New callers, hold on. Steve, salutes. I'll be coming to you as well. We'll see you. All right, we got people to talk to tonight. There's been also a lot of other things going on as well. All right, the Jets also signed former Patriots offensive tackle Yodny Kajesti, I believe is how you pronounce his name. We also released Eric Smith. We also, the New York Jets also brought in Cameron Clark to their player development department. For those of you that don't remember Cameron Clark, 4th-round pick. He suffered a neck injury. He's an offensive lineman, so they were able to bring him in as a player development. He did retire in 2020 because of that neck injury as well. That sucked, man. I remember, really looking forward to seeing that guy become an integral part of our offensive line, but because of that neck injury in 2020, he had to retire. So he's now part of the New York Jets player development. That's big, man. That changing that culture of once a Jet, always a Jet, bringing guys back to be a part of the family, to continue to be a part of the family and continue to be a part of the organization. I want to see more of that, honestly. I remember talking about wanting to see Chad Pennington become our quarterback coach. Having Lavernius Coles or Santana Moss or any of these guys that have interest in coaching positions come back and be part of the staff along the New York Jets. Be assistant coaches, positional coaches. Come in and help, Also, Brandon Eccles as well, New York Jet. He gets a 1-game suspension for violation of the personal policy. He was involved in an accident where he was speeding. The person that he hit actually had to end up getting surgery as well. So, he was able to settle, and he's been suspended. He's going to be suspended for 1 game. Also, there was talks about, during that Flight 23 as well, there's recent episode that was put out, went inside the Jets boardroom, inside the Jets draft boardroom, and there's a lot of things that came out from that, okay? One of them was that how the New York Jets, kind of profiled their players and who they were looking at. According, to the footage, Joe Douglas was asked, as the pick was coming up, what tier he had the players in, how he had them listed. And he said Will McDonald, number 1, Mayer, number 2, Mayer, I believe, was the tight end, number 2, and then he had Broderick Jones, number 3. He also, Joe Douglas, what a genius. Joe Douglas also predicted that the New England Patriots would trade out of that pick. He predicted it, and it happened, okay? We missed out on Broderick Jones because of that. But, again, in Joe Douglas's mind, Will McDonald was the guy that was number 1 for him. Now my question starts to become, and, give me a second to ponder here. I'm wondering if Broderick Jones was still on the board during the New York Jets pick, right? If he was still on the board, because we all know in the draft rooms, it's a collaborative effort. They talk. They start to debate, who they would pick, why. I'm wondering if the New York Jets would have taken Broderick Jones over McDonald, even though McDonald was the number 1 guy for Joe Douglas on his list, right? The fact that Broderick Jones is top 3 in that conversation, would they have taken Broderick Jones because of the need at tackle? Okay? Would they have taken him? That's the big question for me. And if they would have taken Broderick Jones, what would have happened from that? Okay? Now, if we're talking that Will McDonald, right, is number 1, then doesn't that, if they pass on Broderick Jones because Will McDonald is number 1, then what does that say about your faith in the offensive tackle position? It says it's pretty high, right? Right? At least that's what it would mean to me, that the tackle position is pretty high. Your feeling is pretty high about the tackle position. And if that's true, that means you have faith in Mekhi Becton. That also means you think Dwayne Brown is going to be able to succeed. But mainly, if you have faith in Mekhi Becton, then why pass on giving him the 5th-year option? It's interesting. Just interesting. I'm just pondering what I'll be asking about that tonight. All right? There's a lot of things moving and shaking with the New York Jets. So we're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Next, I'm going to go to my guy, Tim. I'm coming directly to Tim. Callers, other callers, hold on. Steve, everybody else, hold on. Salute to you, Tim. I want to thank you for calling in. For those of you that do not know Tim, he's a savage.
What's happening?
What's going on, man? I cannot wait to talk to you. We go back and forth. There's been a lot of discussions tonight. I want to get your thoughts about Jordan Whitehead's contract restructure, man. The Jets now have over $24 million in cap. Could you see the New York Jets targeting a big player or making a big move with the cap that they have left? What do you think is going to happen with this access in cap?
All right. Well, can you hear me all right, first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it really wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to free up all this cap space if you weren't looking for somebody right now. I would have to think that they are, and I don't necessarily think that's the motivation behind a lot of these players restructuring. I truly believe that with the addition of Aaron Rodgers, a lot of these players are like, we have a real chance here. You know, let's restructure and stay here. You know, they have good cohesion together, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that's part of it. I mean, are you alluding to DeAndre Hopkins or, just anybody?
Tim, you know me. Okay? I'm a rabble rouser. I like to start stuff, okay? I enjoy causing issues and problems. That's what I do, all right? That's my party, okay? I'm just saying that, that I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that DeAndre Hopkins with the New York Jets would make us, uncoverable, dude. There'd be nobody that can stop us, okay? Seriously. How do you stop Alan Lazard, DeAndre Hopkins, Garrett Wilson, Nicole Hardman, and maybe, just maybe, an unlocked, cracked Denzel Mims? How do you stop that? Because in my mind, I would think that Corey Davis will be gone. Okay? You probably cut him. Okay? How do you stop that? How?
You can't.
And not only just those names that I mentioned, you got Aaron Rodgers throwing them the football. Come on, talk to me, Tim. Talk to me.
You can't. You wouldn't be able to stop that. I mean, assuming that he came aboard and he understood the offense and there was no issues in the locker room and he got along well with everybody and there was no diva things going on, then, in a perfect world, I mean, adding him to this roster, there's no way that could be a bad thing at this point. So I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it at all. Now, if the primary reason for restructuring a lot of these contracts was specifically to target DeAndre Hopkins without a greater overall plan with that saved money, I feel like that would be somewhat disappointing because they did free up. I have to imagine there's additional plans in place for that additional freed up money because Hopkins wouldn't make that much of a cap hit if they brought him on because he was looking at, what is he looking at, 15 a year or something like that?
Maybe something like that, yeah.
So there's they freed up a lot more cap space than what they would need for him, right? I mean, so I'm wondering who else they might be targeting. Have you heard of any? I feel like at this point they've really beat the hedges and gotten a lot of the really good available free players out there to bolster up the offensive line, get some additional edge in the draft. I just feel like they've done such a fantastic job. It's hard for me to think that adding DeAndre would really disrupt much of the momentum that they already have going on. I don't know if that really answers your question, but that's all I got.
Well, listen, there's a lot that they can do, and again, like you said as well, we'll see what happens going forward with DeAndre Hopkins. He is a free agent. He's shopping himself. I'm just saying that the New York Jets, I'm not putting it away. I'm not. I think that would be very interesting. Like you said, with the $24 million, we have quite a bit left, and I think some of that can go to making sure that Q gets re-signed, right? Making sure that his extension gets done. right? That would be big as well going forward. Again, a lot of this cap as well kind of rolls over, and I think people are also being short-sighted because you also get a bump up in the cap this next after this year. You know, we definitely get a bump up in the cap too because of TV deals and all that stuff. So you'll have even more cap space. So there's a lot of things moving and shaking. And also keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers, there's talks about him giving money back, or the New York Jets giving money away because he made more than enough in his upcoming contract restructure to help the New York Jets even further. So we'll see what happens. But the Jets can also need to address the outside linebacker position. Quan Alexander, from what I know right now as well, hasn't signed anywhere yet. He's still out there, so he might be a guy the Jets could be interested in bringing back to. So there's still some positions they can address. I tell you what, and DeAndre Hopkins is something else. But I want to get your thoughts on this, Tim. A lot of things moving and shaking, a lot of things happening. In the recent Flight 23 episode, right, it gave an inside look to the New York Jets boardroom during the draft, okay? And we saw how they were talking about players. And Joe Douglas was asked, before the Jets made their pick, how he ranked, what were his top 3 players by a person that was in the room. And at the time, he said McDonald was 1. He said Mayer was 2. I believe it was Mayer, the tight end, was 2. And 3 was Broderick Jones, right?
Right.
So I want to get your thoughts on this, right? Because we all talked about how the Jets got screwed over because the Patriots traded out, and what was crazy, Joe Douglas predicted that before it even happened. He said, the Patriots are going to trade out. We're going to, that's going to happen. So I want to get your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts about the idea swirling around that the Jets didn't get screwed because they weren't even targeting Broderick Jones in the first place? What are your thoughts about that narrative swirling around? Do you believe that to be true?
I'm not sure I understand your question. So you're saying that Joe Douglas ranked Will McDonald above Broderick Jones initially anyway. So why wouldn't that have been his first choice, no matter what?
Here's my thoughts on this. It's great that you asked that question, right? We know that generally, right, you got to have scenarios all over the place, okay? And they talked about it. You got to have a backup scenario for the scenario. So when you look at it, right, if you've got 3 guys, generally they'll have 3 guys that they think, hey, if our pick comes up and this guy isn't here, we'll go with that guy. So you got 3 guys. We've also seen boardrooms where they have discussions when the pick is happening about who they look. I look at it like this. You got 3 guys. Will McDonald may be the number 1. Mayer may be the 2. And 3 is Broderick Jones. But the fact that he's in the conversation, how do you pass up on Broderick Jones if there's a need at tackle? Right? And if you're willing to pass up on Broderick Jones, and Will McDonald is truly your number 1, and you want to pass up on Broderick Jones, then that means you have faith in your offensive tackle spot, right? Wouldn't you say that that's what that means, Tim? That you have faith in the guy that you got.
Sound logic.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have faith in the guys that you have, that means you have faith in Dwayne Brown, right, to stand up, go forward. But that also means you have faith in Mekhi Becton.
Yep.
That also right?
And ABC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now follow me. That means you have faith in Mekhi Becton. Now, if you have faith in Mekhi Becton, why didn't you give him his 5th-year option? Why would
I heard you explain that. No, I heard you explain that earlier, and I think that's a fantastic point. I really do. Because I had not thought about that previous to you saying it.
I'm just wondering, Tim. Go ahead, give me your thoughts.
Joe, this goes back to conversations we've had over multiple phone calls about Mekhi Becton and how it's just this tug of war with versus the media, the negative media headlines versus what some Jets fans feel versus what some other real Jets. I'm not saying either side aren't real fans because they are. It's just truly a polarizing topic. Like a lot of people, some like them, some don't. The media hasn't helped us at all in terms of predicting like how the Jets actually feel about him because it's just been so back and forth, up and down. It's like it's like going before Mekhi made those made those tweets. I guess it was a couple weeks ago now, where he's like, "I'm a left tackle" and blah blah blah. And
yes.
Saleh said,
yes.
And Saleh said, "Earn it." Leading up to that tweet, I felt like everything was really on a high positive note. I just felt like the vibes were good. You know, Mekhi was there. There was no ruffling of feathers. Everybody kind of was happy and expecting that Mekhi was going to enter the season healthy and we'd finally get to have a look at him. And then all of a sudden you get this tweet, and then that kind of disrupts things. And it's like, maybe it's an attitude problem. Maybe it's an attitude problem. Maybe they just can't get like behind closed doors. You know, on a professional level, maybe they can function, but maybe there's just simply like a personal issue with him, because he did also come out, and you got to consider this too, Joe, when you're thinking about why they didn't take his fifth-year option. He did come out and publicly blame them for essentially medical malpractice.
That's true.
And,
go ahead.
You know, and they may have and the Jets, you know, I don't know. Look, I would be devastated if anything like that actually happened at the Jets facilities, because that would go against everything that we've heard are their core values for the past, 25 years. You know, they're not going to force a player into a position where he could potentially get a career-altering injury, and that's essentially what Mekhi has alleged. So it's possible that conversation happened multiple times behind closed doors before we ever heard about that, and it's also possible that accusation could date back 12 to 18 months. So what I'm trying to say is, kind of long story longer, is from a corporate organizational perspective, they may view that as a liability and simply have decided not to pick up the fifth-year option as a result, just in case something comes up down the line litigation-wise. That could potentially play into it, corporate risk management, because quite frankly, otherwise, I don't know what the logic is behind not taking the fifth year.
And that is what I'm talking about, Tim. I'm wondering myself, right? Because look at the situation that we're in with Quinnen Williams. I remember a time, and I know Jets fans, and look, I love all Jets fans. Everyone knows that, okay? I'm a Jets fan myself. I'm just a regular person. But I know that you remember a time as well where there was a huge volume of Jets fans that wanted to get rid of Quinnen Williams. I remember a time when Jets fans were saying, don't give him the fifth-year option either. Trade him now. Trade him for a third-round pick. I remember there were Jets fans saying we should trade him for a fourth-round pick. I remember it like it was yesterday. If we had not picked up that man's option, we would be screwed. We would be screwed. Because, boy, oh, boy, look at the season he just had. And that, again, leading to what I was just talking about, if Mekhi Becton comes out this year and plays like the Mekhi Becton that I think he will be, right? And a lot of other Jets fans think he will be because he's fully healthy and ready to go. He's going to be one of the top tackles in all of the NFL, whether it be left or right. I think he wins the left tackle position, so let's just go left tackle. If he plays like one of the top left tackles, like he was in his rookie year, good luck. Because you're going to have to franchise.
Oh, my God, dude.
Which means you're –
oh, my God. It's so funny that we got on this topic.
Go ahead.
It seems like,
go ahead.
Seems like we always come around to this, but I was just watching highlights for Mekhi Becton's reps against – I think this was in 2021, and it was like Bradley Chubb, I don't know. Basically, it was Nick Bosa. No, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Bosa, Bradley Chubb, and Melvin Ingram, and a bunch of other just stud pass rushers. And he was, I mean, not only did he look like he dwarfed them, I mean, he just was gigantic, and he just pushed them over like they were nothing. Like, it was so impressive. Yeah. And I really just want him to be on the field for 17 games and just be there and be a wall for us. I mean, we really need it. We've needed it for years. Really since, I guess, DeBrickashaw?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last. That's the last guy that's really been there for.
Tackle we had. That's a fact.
Yeah, for like a decade, so I just want him to be there. And it's really odd that they didn't pick up the option. And to your point, why not focus on Broderick Jones in the draft if there's any question at all? And I'm not even saying – I'm even saying this if you have your starters pretty much figured out and you might even have +1 on a couple of those different starting positions. I'm even saying if you're in that position, you still want to get another tackle. So it is odd that they didn't add the tackle because we are so deep on the pass rush right now. With guys that are set to make have breakout seasons this year. So I don't know. What do you? I mean, have you been able to bounce it around in your head and figure out any logical reason why they might do that?
Look, I like I said, and again, Broderick Jones was off the table when the New York Jets were up for their pick. Okay, but just seeing that they ranked McDonald and Mayer, who's a tight end, over Broderick Jones, it just kind of made me wonder. And I'm just pondering. Okay, I'm just thinking you rank those two guys over a tackle, and what's going on here? And then if Broderick Jones was on the table, would you still have passed on Broderick Jones and took McDonald or even Mayer, who's a tight end, over a tackle? I just started to wonder. And when I was going back and forth with, and like you said as well, it's crazy that you said that, Tim, because everybody else that I talked to about it was like, I didn't even think about it like that. And I'm a rabble rouser, so I call some issues. But I'm just wondering, he was number 1 on your board over a tackle?
Joe, this is a job of a good Jets fan, right? Is that, and I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about just reading the hot take and whatever the hot headline is that week. It's about finding the chinks in the armor of the organization and trying to figure out, where could we have been more efficient with our money use? Where could we, with the draft, with the. To me, that's the fun part of fandom, is just being like this, as if anybody cares about my opinion. But at least, it's just it's so fun to because every now and again, Joe, you have all these geniuses and Joe Douglas and all these amazing people on the staff at the Jets, and every now and again you do come up with a head scratcher that makes you really wonder. And in those positions, like we are now with this question, I have to assume that they know something we don't. Simple as that. Maybe it's medical about his knees or something like that, or they just lack the faith somehow. But why do they? But to your point, they don't lack the faith. So which one is it? They're kind of talking out both sides of their mouth a little bit.
Because if he's third, and again, I want to ask you another question after this. But if he's third, then you got to have some type of faith. That's your top 3, right? Yeah, that's your top 3. So if the board had failed, and again, if the Bears wouldn't have taken right, the Bears taking right is what I think really screwed the Jets. That really screwed them, okay? Because then it was all that was left was Broderick. That's it. That's it, dog. There's no, there was no veil to pull, because then you could say, okay, well, maybe we'll take right. Then teams would start to think like that. But everybody pretty much knew, But I don't know. It just made me think. And I felt like a lot of people, or at least the people I expressed that to, and I was going back and forth a lot, they weren't thinking about that at all, But that's just me. I'm a rabble rouser. I want to get your thoughts.
Well, I've been thinking a lot about Mekhi Becton, just not necessarily that specific question, but that's an interesting question. Yeah. I'm glad you thought of that.
Yeah. Give me your thoughts about the positivity surrounding Breece Hall, man. There's a lot of people discussing that he might be ready for week 1. Sulla's not trying to rush him out there, right? Again, or rush him back or do things too quickly. They're still, they're still very, cognizant that he's dealing and healing up from the injury, but he's looking good. Give me your thought about the positivity surrounding him and how he could end up possibly, being out there for week 1 with the New York Jets.
Well, from a general perspective, Joe, I'm going to say this. I love Breece Hall. I wish nothing but the best. I hope he's out there on day 1, 100% and ready to fly. But I learned at a very young age and I'll make an analogy here to Christmas time. I would always get so out of control excited when it was about a month out of Christmas, right? So then I'd be annoying my parents every single day, and they'd be like, look, they'd have to basically, kind of beat it into you figuratively that you have to have patience, and then you get the reward, right? So I've kind of grown up with that kind of mentality where, although I'm extremely excited, I am patiently awaiting the reality of the situation, and I'm trying not to get too caught up in the summertime news, because summertime NFL news, they really are reaching for coverage at a certain point, and they'll pretty much write about absolutely anything, and if you get caught up in it, it's very easy to get caught up in it. If you get caught up in it, you can very easily start to develop negative attitudes towards some of your players or things like that. And that is just, for me, that's just something, I'm too excited about this Jets team to get involved in any of that. Like right now, I am laser focused on just the personnel that we have. All of these people restructuring their contracts this past couple weeks has just been fantastically exciting because, and going back to the earlier point, one of the major priorities for me is, before they do anything with any type of big splash signing, if they go that route, I want to see Quinnen, locked in, So it's great that they saved all that cap room, but, lock him in, shoot the headline out there that he's locked in, and then go after some other thing if that's what they want to do. But I hope they make that, they get that done soon. And I'm just going to expect that that's going to be done on week one. And if they get DeAndre in the meantime, great. But beyond that, I try not to get too caught up in the summertime NFL stuff.
Yeah. Listen, Tim, beware, the summer news, summer football news will take a toll on you mentally. All right. Tim,
I swear to God, it becomes the National Enquirer during the summer, so you got to be careful.
Yeah. Listen, Tim, I got to slide off. I got other callers. You have yourself a good one, my friend.
You too. Always a pleasure, and JETS.
That's what I'm talking about. Salutes. Listen, Tim calling in with some fire. I like talking about it. Be aware, be very aware and cautious of who you're listening to during the summer. All right, because negative headlines surface left and right. All right, we're going to discuss it. All right, like I said, I like to rabble-rouse. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Salutes to everyone in the chat, all the savages going back and forth. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Oh, just lost Brick City. Hope Brick call back in. I want to talk to you next. We're going to go to Steve. We're going to Steve because Steve, I'm sure, has a lot to say. Before we go, though, Steve, he's a savage, man. He's a savage. Steve, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. We're having a talk tonight, Steve. We're discussing quite a bit. Jordan Whitehead has restructured his contract. New York Jets now have over $24 million in cap space. What are your thoughts on the restructure? How are you feeling about the Jets? How are you feeling about the Jets' cap space situation?
Hey, Joe. Well, first of all, thank you again for calling me on your for having me on your show again. And I actually am forgetting to say this, but I really appreciate you calling me a savage. I really, really do appreciate you calling me a savage.
Absolutely, Steve.
And,
that's what it's all about, man. You are a savage through and through. Go ahead.
So I guess the first thing you wanted to talk to me about was Jordan Whitehead restructuring his contract. It was a smart move, because now the Jets do have some cap space, that they could fill, like if they want to sign someone like really big, like is it going to help with Quinnen Williams' contract extension, or is it a possibility that we go after Mr. DeAndre Hopkins? But, the thing is, Joe, listen, as you know, pretty soon, now that we're in the month of June, we're getting closer to the time you know, when the NFL is about to go on vacation. Like, we're at the time, almost at the time of the year when the players go on their vacation. You know, we got the mandatory minicamp, which is the last 3 minicamp practice before, you know, we take the time off. But the thing is that, you know, like, I still hope, you know, like, because with the help of Jordan Whitehead getting his contract restructured, that honestly, if I had to pick between Quinnen Williams and DeAndre Hopkins right now, I would honestly pick Quinnen Williams.
Yeah. Well, listen, Steve, I hear what you're saying, right? I get it. But I don't think you have to choose between those guys. You can have both of them. You can absolutely have both of those guys on your team, right? You have over $24 million in cap space. That's just now, right? You got to think we're going to get a bump up in cap as well. You can manipulate Quinnen Williams' contract so that I think a lot of Jets fans, and again, I'm not a capologist, okay? I don't get up here and pretend to know contracts like I'm a NFL contract guru or I'm an agent like a lot of other people pretend to do. I don't do that, okay? I keep it all the way real. I do know this, though. I know that you can literally schedule guys to make certain amounts of money at different periods in their contract. So it's not like tomorrow he has to make the max amount in his contract. No, you can put that in year 2. You can put that in a couple of years down the line so that when he hits for a certain amount of cap number, then another guy hits for a lower cap, and just to balance your cap out. That's what happens. That's what can happen here, right? So when you look at DeAndre Hopkins, right, DeAndre Hopkins probably looking somewhere in the maybe $10 to $15 million range, right? The New York Jets were trying to get Odell Beckham. We were just trying to get Odell Beckham, and everyone's acting like that didn't happen all of a sudden. We were just doing that. Allen Lazard was here. Garrett Wilson was here. McCole Hardman was here. Corey Davis was on the roster. All these guys were here, and we were still going after Odell Beckham Jr. So it starts to make you think, right, or at least the way I'm thinking, is I'm saying if we chased Odell, who was coming off of an ACL tear and was out of football, right, why wouldn't you go after DeAndre Hopkins when that man has shown you that he can get it done, regardless of what quarterback that he had? I remember when he was with the Texans, those quarterbacks, again, Deshaun Watson was hurt at times, and he was still getting it done. Still getting it done. Okay? Done. No matter what quarterback was throwing him the football, he was catching that thing, and he was doing it. Went to the Cardinals, he was still giving people the business. So why can't we add him to the roster then, Steve? That makes us even more deadly. Now you got Garrett Wilson in a position where he is just going to have a feast. He's going to have a feast. Give me your thoughts, Steve.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen, here is the thing about DeAndre Hopkins, which I'm going to say about him. Listen, I think DeAndre Hopkins is phenomenal talent. And I think if we did add him onto this Jets roster, you know, someone mentioned this earlier. I think it was the guy, Rusty, who mentioned this earlier. Because think about it. If, let's say, if DeAndre Hopkins is on our team, Garrett Wilson and him are on the same field, those defensive corners who we're going to be going up against, oh, man, they're going to have a tough time, you know, against, you know, like if covering either Hopkins or Garrett Wilson, if anybody thinks about that. Because I think it was Rusty who said that. But, you know, Joe, you know, this whole thing, you know, like with players and stuff. You know, Joe, I got to tell you something. And this is the thing, unfortunately, that I knew that was going to happen. Because apparently somebody wrote off on Rodgers the other day and basically, you know, like saying like, because apparently no matter what happens when the Jets are doing something good, any reporters will come out and write. And listen, Joe, I see this with my own 2 eyes. They will come out and write negative things. And do you want to know why? Because there are still some people, and it drives you crazy. They just want to come out there, and they just want to watch us stink. Well, you know what? The one thing that we're going to prove this year is we're going to prove those writers wrong. We're proving those writers wrong this year. It's just, Joe, before you get into the next topic, I just wanted to get that out of my system.
No, listen, I hear you. There's a lot of people that have a lot of negativity that they want to spread about the New York Jets, and they do that. And I saw a writer recently talk about how Aaron Rodgers, you know, wasn't even the best quarterback, or was nowhere near being the best quarterback in the AFC East. And I think he said in Jersey or in New York where he played. He wasn't nowhere near the best quarterback in New York. So, very interesting, right? But at the end of the day, like you said as well, we have to understand that there's haters everywhere. The New York Jets are in a different place. It's a different time. And we got to just continue to move like that. The eyes are now on us, okay? They're on us. And speaking of eyes being on us, right, you're hearing a lot about players come out and talk about the impact that Aaron Rodgers is having and how he expects more from them, Steve, and how he wants them to step up, right? And he's putting it out there in the film room. He's helping guys break down film, helping them understand the offense in a way that, it's very helpful to them. And also the things he's doing out there on the field as well, how when he sees something wrong, he stops it, goes back and fixes it. What are your thoughts about hearing the leadership that Aaron Rodgers is showing these guys and how he wants more and expects more from them and wants to set a standard? What are your thoughts about that, Steve?
Yeah, because this is the thing. See, this is the thing at times that really, really gets me aggravated with these damn reporters and these damn writers that write negative things about us. It's just
Go ahead,
Aaron Rodgers showing in team meetings on the field how he's leading these guys. Like if you remember a week or two ago, C.J. Uzomah had an interview where he said that at one point during our offensive meeting when we were meeting in the indoor facility, Aaron Rodgers led the meeting. Not Nathaniel Hackett, not Robert Saleh. It was Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers has shown why he's showing us how to win, how to be prepared, and all that stuff. And listen, no matter what happens, and the thing was, Joe, I said this before. If let's say Zach Wilson is still going to be the future of this team, Zach is learning under Aaron Rodgers, a guy he mentored growing up, and now he's got him in the building. When was the last time we've had that, Joe? Not a very, 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 very long time, okay? We haven't had that in a very, very, very long time, okay? And the thing is, it shows that is what this team needs.
No, listen, you're talking facts now. There's a lot of positivity surrounding Breece Hall as well, Steve. A lot of people excited about him, talking about, there's rumors again, buzz surrounding him that he might be ready week 1 for the New York Jets. Give me your thoughts about that, man. How are you feeling about all the positivity surrounding this kid? And do you think he'll actually be able to get on the field for the New York Jets week 1 after suffering, that ACL tear this past season?
The way of how I see this is with Breece Hall, which is this. I don't think Breece Hall during the preseason should not take a snap during the preseason. I would have him rest for the whole preseason, but have him practice in practices during training camp. Because the thing is, remember, those preseason games aren't going to mean anything. And remember, we are playing 4 preseason games because, remember, the New York Jets got nominated, Joe, for the Hall of Fame game on August 3rd or August 4th when we go to Camden, Ohio to play the Browns, because we got nominated to play for an extra preseason game this year. So going back to Breece Hall, I think what needs to happen with Breece is he should definitely have his practices. Should definitely have his practices once he's fully and ready to go, but I would not put him out in a preseason game.
Okay. Listen, I'm all about putting him out there when he's ready. And Sulla stressed that he was not going to get too ahead of himself, right? And that they weren't going to get too ahead of themselves, and they weren't going to put Breece in a situation. They weren't going to do too much, okay? But there's talks he's already hitting 22 miles per hour on the GPS. He's moving. They don't want to rush things. They want to allow this kid to heal. But I'm telling you, Steve, whenever he's ready, and I'm talking fully ready, not 1 second later, okay? Let me tell you something. I'm going to put – if I was the coach, if I was the staff, I'd put him on the field immediately to destroy people, okay? Him, Michael Carter, Izzy.
Wait, hang on. Joe, excuse me for 1 minute. You would put him on the field for a preseason game?
If he was fully ready and healthy, yeah. Because listen, first off, he's a starter. So he's not going to play. I doubt that it's not even that I doubt. He should not be playing significant minutes during a preseason game. So it's not like he's going to get more than a quarter, if that, right? But if he's fully healthy and ready, and I'm talking fully healthy, that needs fully healthy, yes, I'm going to put him out there. Because you also have to understand these guys have to get into football shape, right? There's a difference between being in shape and being in football shape. How many times have we seen guys sit out, right, for contract disputes or various other things, and then they get on the field during the season because they wait until they get in the season, and then they have issues within the season with hamstrings or being winded, not being in shape, in football shape. We've seen that. We've seen that cause injuries, right? So we got to grease the wheels, okay? Mm-hmm. That's why preseason is still, semi-important. Is to get guys that feel. That's why we put our quarterbacks out there. Have them work a quarter so they can get that feel, get into the mode. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
No, listen, I understand where you're coming from, Joe, and you do make a good point. Mm-hmm. You don't want the players to look rusty out there. But the only thing is, Joe, the biggest fear that I have is when they do go out there is if an injury does happen. It's a thing that scares me. It scares the hell out of me. Listen, it scared us all last year when Zach Wilson got hurt in the first preseason game. You remember how Jets fans were all drained? And Zach Wilson caught a lucky break. Yeah. So the thing is, Joe, listen, the most important thing that's got to happen with this team is we have to be healthy. That is the number one. That is the number one priority during the preseason. Listen, preseason doesn't matter about winning. It doesn't matter about losing. The number one thing is being healthy and being ready to go for the regular season. Now, I guess, Joe, the last thing I got to talk to you about is that.
Go ahead, quickly. Go ahead.
I got to tell you, Joe, I watched all these 3 episodes of the flight series that the New York Jets have just watched, and if you watched all 3 of those episodes, oh my God, they were phenomenal. Especially with the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers. And who can never forget when Aaron Rodgers got introduced to the Jets at his press conference, he called out on Woody Johnson. He goes, "Hey, Woody, you forgot to shake my hand, man.
Yeah.
You forgot to shake my hand." And then Woody goes, "Oh, crap, I forgot to shake your hand. Okay, let me go shake your hand, man."
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is intoxicating. That's the honest truth. Aaron Rodgers, his personality, he's a very mild-mannered guy. He's very intoxicating. The way, that he speaks, communicates, can get his message across, very easily. He's very much a guy that you can tell how he's gotten to where he's gotten. It's because he works to get there. And I'm excited. I'm excited about him being here, like you said as well, just hearing him talk about the game and bettering the team and what he wants, his standards, his expectations, and him even suggesting, or not even suggesting, but just flat out telling people, Jets fans, people within the franchise, everybody, you need to raise your expectations too. Be ready. Be the team that, and he talked about this in an interview, outside of Flight 23, be ready. Be a team that is going to go out there and be the bully of the NFL. Go out there and become the dragon. He talked about that. So, yeah, I love hearing Aaron Rodgers speak, and I'm glad he's a New York Jet. Continue on, Steve.
So, the other thing I was going to say, last night, Joe, I actually had my father that came to my place yesterday, and him and I with my brother had dinner, and he was talking with me about, Aaron Rodgers and all that stuff, and he goes, "Listen, Steve, you are going to enjoy, now with the fact that you have Aaron now, you're going to have all these primetime games now, and the thing is, even though my dad is a Packers fan, he wants Aaron Rodgers to succeed with the Jets. He doesn't care about, when the draft picks happen for Green Bay. He doesn't care about all that. He wants Aaron Rodgers to do well with the Jets."
Yeah, of course, man. There's a lot of Packers fans I talk to that even, former or Packers fans that, loved him. And again, we know he was over there in Green Bay for a while. They want to see him do well with the Jets. So it's good. It's good to hear, the positivity from people. And I'm glad your dad, wants to see him do well here as well. Listen, Steve, I got to slide off.
Hey,
I
Joe,
want to thank
one
you
last
for calling
question.
in. It was phenomenal to speak with you.
Joe, one last thing really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the quick question I have for you. Will there be any Jet games that you are planning on going to MetLife this year, or are you going to try to go to a game that's closer to home to you than when the Jets play on the road?
I still haven't, man, I'm still looking. Again, everybody knows my schedule's crazy, okay? I'm going to make that decision a little bit closer to the season, I'm thinking, but I'm looking at some games. I just got to figure out if I'm going to be able to get out there. That first game of the year, especially against them Bills, I'm looking at that, all right? I'm looking at that heavily.
Right.
But I got to sort some things out. So we'll see. But that's a good question. When I do, believe me, y'all will know. So, yeah, that's a good question, though, Steve.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for having me on the show, man. You have yourself a good night.
Absolutely. Same to you, Steve. You have yourself a good one. Yeah. I've had people ask me that recently as well. Salutes to Steve, and again, salutes to all the Savages. They want to know, hey, Joe, when are you going out to the games, man? What game are you going to? I don't know yet. I'm still trying to sort things out, man. Schedule's wild. It's wild. All right. Listen, what a show. Phenomenal show tonight. Had a blast with everybody. Going to go ahead and shut it down here. Salutes to all the Savages in the chat going off. All right. Salutes to Bree. Always good to see you. Bree says, word, Joe. This is why I'm so mad with the Packers insisting on 13, even though it didn't change their pick, just so they brag to their fans about how they squeezed every drop from the Jets. Yeah, he's talking about the trade and everything that played out with the Jets boardroom as well. It was a situation we swapped spots. I thought the Jets did a good job there in that trade as well. I think we came out pretty good. Again, we got Aaron Rodgers, right? And even though, Broderick Jones isn't on this football team, Will McDonald was a great pick. I know a lot of Jets fans didn't like it initially, but I thought it was a solid pick initially. And, things are going to look good for the pass rushing situation. But like I spoke about earlier, and again, people want to call me a rabble-rouser. I'll be that. I'm just wondering, if Broderick Jones was there, would the Jets have still passed on him? I'm just thinking, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Your boy is also on Twitter as well. Go on over to Twitter. Type in @The Long Beach Joe. @The Long Beach Joe. Okay? Personal. Twitter is @YoungJ000. All right. Follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, man. Okay? Listen, he's going to be back this upcoming season. And let me tell you, you folks are going to feel the wrath of Elijah Vera Tucker. And I pray for your souls. I truly do. He's going to destroy people, okay? Opposing defensive players, he's going to grab you, and he's going to throw you around like a sack of potatoes, all right? And it's your problem, not mine, okay? He's going to have another year, another great year at guard or whatever offensive line position you want to put him at, because honestly, he can play all of them. Except for center. We haven't seen center, but come on. We know he could probably play center too, right? But that's what you get when you draft guys out of USC. The greatness that is the Trojans. I could go on, but, salute to Elijah Vera Tucker, all right? Fight on, okay? Your boy's also on YouTube as well. Going over to YouTube, type in, type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Hit the thumbs up button as well. If you want to troll me on there, hit in those comments, troll me, and I'll troll you right back. No issues. Okay. And there's always people, when you see me in person, and it's arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. Okay. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. No matter what anyone says, the hugs will always remain free. I want to thank you folks for listening going back and forth with me, calling in, all the savages in the chat, any way that you interact with me. I want to thank you folks for doing that. Without you people, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to get involved with your boy. You know what I'm saying? All right. And again, I want to salute and thank Willie Williams, 757 Virginia Jets fan club, for coming on and spreading the good news about everything that they do over there. Get involved with the 757 Virginia Jets club. All right, those are good people. Willie Williams is a good person as well. So, salutes. Until the next show. All right, you folks have a good one. Peace.